guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do the I'm Annoyed booktube tag. I'm Annoyed book tag. I don't know exactly. Book tag. We'll say the I'm Annoyed book tag. Which was created by Books I'm Not Reading. If you haven't seen their channel, I hadn't before I heard of this, but if you haven't, go check it out. I will leave the video in the end card, the original video that they did, so that you guys can watch it if you'd like to. I saw Jesse the Reader do this, and that is what inspired me to do it, but he also did leave the video on his video, so I went and watched the original one as well before I did this. Alright, so let's get into it. The first question is, do authors ever do things that you find annoying? If so, share an example. Yes. I'm assuming this is referring to in their books, because obviously authors are people and people make mistakes and sometimes have views that hurt people. But as far as in their books, I'm sure there are, but when I was writing down my answers for this, I couldn't think of any, and I honestly am having a hard time thinking of any now. I'd say, I think this counts. I'm gonna say it counts. In romance books, which is what I read a lot of, the authors who every single book have a teeny tiny little female main character and a big hulking muscly 6'6" man main character. I hate it. First of all, not realistic. Second of all, I don't want to feel like my man could break me at any second, I don't think. And also, I'm 5'5". I'm not tall by any means, but I'm not a teeny tiny little pocket-sized girl, and it bothers me that there's so many authors and they make it such a big thing. Like, it's not just mentioned once or twice. I think that's when it bothers me the most. It's not just mentioned once or twice, it's like every time she describes him, he's a big mountain of a man, and anytime she describes herself, it's reference to how tiny she is. And I know I'm not alone in that bothering me in romance. We get it, you have a size kink. Move on. Please, I'm begging you. Question number 2. Have you ever been annoyed by a spoiler, even something as simple as someone else telling you there's a great twist? Yes. I think anyone could get annoyed by a spoiler. In general, nowadays especially, spoilers don't bother me as much, especially if they are like, oh, the story has such a great plot twist, or describing the tropes that are in it. When I was a kid, and I'm about to date myself a little bit here, for those of y'all who don't know, I'm a 90s baby. So when the Harry Potter books were coming out, I was reading them. The first couple came out before I could read them, but my mom started reading the books to me. She read the first 2 books to me, I think, and then I started reading them on my own. As I was reading those, when the 6th book came out, my friend spoiled a certain thing that happens towards the end of the book for me that, you know, people didn't really see coming. And I mean, if you haven't read Harry Potter, mute me for a sec, okay? My friend spoiled Dumbledore dying. Like a week or 2 after the book came out. It's not like I waited a while to read the book or anything, and she knew I was gonna read the book, and she still spoiled it for me. Anyway, so yeah, I have had spoilers that have annoyed me. Question 3. Have you ever been annoyed by what you discovered in a free little library, a book sale, or a bookstore? Tell us what you found and why it was so annoying. I've never really been to a free little library, but as far as at a book sale or a bookstore, I have definitely gotten annoyed when I've seen like a themed table and the books aren't on theme, because that's just like, I get it. You can't read all the books and know that they're not the theme. They could seem like they fit it and then they don't actually fit it. I can't think of an example right now, but I know that I have walked into Barnes & Noble at some point in my life, gone up to one of the themed books or end caps, and been like, that book doesn't really fit in there, or my sister has pointed it out. So yeah, that would be, I think that's really the only thing that I have ever found annoying at a bookstore. Number 4, when it comes to short story collections, are you annoyed if there's a novella in the middle of the collection? I don't really read short story collections. I've never really tried. I don't really know if I know of any. I probably have 1 or 2 on my TBR that have been recommended to me by other booktubers. In theory, I don't think it would bother me, but I have no idea. I genuinely don't know for that one. Number 5, deckled edges, beautiful or annoying? I do think they're pretty. I don't know that I find them annoying because I don't really have any books with them. So it's not frequent enough that I would find them annoying, I guess. I think the only books I have with them are my series of unfortunate events books, but since they're not super common and I don't have to deal with them very often, I don't really care that much. But I guess that means I find them annoying because I'm thinking about how often I have to deal with them. Question 6. Other people's annotations in a used book or library book. Annoying, or are you okay with it? So, used book, whatever, totally fine. I'm buying a book. I know it has a story. I know I'm not the first person to own it and read it. And if you own a book, then you can do whatever you want with it, even if that means ripping it up. I think that's kind of weird, but that's the point. You bought it, so it's your property. Library books, no. Do not annotate your library books. That is so disrespectful and rude, and will probably cost your library money because they're going to have to replace the book. So I hope they charge you for it. Because it's not your book. Leave it alone. Question 7. If there's a series and changes are made, are you annoyed or okay with it? If yes, give us an example. I'm never okay with it. I am assuming that this means talking about the binding of a book. I want all of my books to look the same. In a series, I am so annoying about it, actually. I hate it. Even just having the same artwork, but switching between paperbacks and hardcovers. No, I can't do it. I hate it so much. It bothers me. Number 8. Do the decisions of characters in a novel ever annoy you? Share the book and what decisions you found annoying. This happens to me a lot, actually, especially considering the era I grew up reading in. The last time that I was heavily into reading was middle school and high school, the early 2010s, which means Twilight, Hunger Games, Divergent, Matched, The Selection, all of those dystopian novels with these main characters who for the most part are just so grating and annoying, and they're not like other girls, especially Bella Swan. Oh my goodness. But that aside, because I don't necessarily see myself in them at all as characters, sometimes they make decisions that I don't agree with. Bella, I don't think jumping off a cliff is a good idea. Also, going back to romances, which is my main genre now, the miscommunication trope is something that I find very irksome when it is an issue that the characters could fix if they just talked to each other. Sometimes I understand why they don't want to, but sometimes it's the stupidest reasoning, and I can't think of one now because I haven't read a miscommunication trope in a while because I haven't been reading a ton, but the decision to just leave a potential partner out of something because you don't know how to communicate like an adult. Keep in mind, I am reading adult romance. No, that bothers me a lot. Question 9. Are you ever annoyed by how someone organizes their books, and what do you find annoying? So, no, because it's your bookshelf and you can do what you want with it. However, my only stipulation, I was watching a book roast the other day and somebody had their series split up. So that is the only thing that annoys me, I think. Other than that, I don't really care what people do with their bookshelves. The final question, number 10, share something bookish that you find annoying. So, I wrote kind of a lot when I was answering this. I don't know if you can, yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. Something bookish that I find annoying is some of the conversations around book talk, not book talk itself, but some of the conversations around it being used to tear down other readers just because you don't enjoy what they're reading or because you think all they do is read sex in books because they like a little smut. Some people like a lot of smut, and we obviously everybody has different reading tastes, and that's okay. People are allowed to read smut if they want to read smut. People are allowed to read YA if they're an adult. People are allowed to read whatever the heck they want to read. Stop hating on other people because you don't like what they're reading. Stop saying that women are tearing down the publishing industry just because we like a little smut. Smut has been being published for so long. So long. I didn't look it up. I have no history of it, but it's been a long time. They just weren't as vocal about it. And I am so sick of seeing people on Book Talk saying, oh, all I see is people recommending smut. Interact with something else. Go find classics book talk. Go find sci-fi fantasy book talk. Go look for it. I don't see a ton of smut on my book talk anymore because I'm not reading that right now. I'm interacting with contemporary romance that doesn't have smut, or like just other bookish things that not really book recommendations anymore. It is possible to tailor your feed. The point of my little mini rant, using books against other people to tear them down just because they are reading something that you do not like or do not agree with is not okay. And that is a bookish thing that bothers me, is when people in the book community do that. And I see it all the time on TikTok. I'm sure if I were on Twitter or Threads in the book community, I would see it there as well, because that's how the internet is now. Thanks for hanging out with me for a second while I get to rant a little bit about some bookish things that are annoying. The point of this video and the point of this tag is not to be negative, it's just to talk about things. And I'm loving people trying to bring back the book tag. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up or subscribe or all of the above if you want to see more book tags from me. I hope you do, because I'm going to be doing them. Let me know in the comments below what your answers to any or all of those questions are, if you feel like it. Or I think the one I'd want to know the most is, what's a bookish thing that annoys you? That last question, because I got real heated about it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time. And bye.